Well, hello people of YouTube Internet, I'm GGP, back with another drawing project, and yes, it's not Famnos, it's my continuation of my drawing project. The previous one, with Venomized characters. I kind of want to finish it and I will go to next projects. Two of them. Maybe some animation, I don't know, still questioning it. So for now, man, nothing new. I mean, mostly, I would say it was an amazing session. Okay, lots of interesting designs, lots of not so interesting designs. Most try to be original, and sometimes this originality is pretty boringish. So, without long intros, gonna go watch what I did. Okay, so going with the rock type. And rock type, okay, this one, I would say, is one of those non-original ones. I mean, interesting ideas, but again, for design, not so much. Montica is supposed to be the idea of this one, because again, for rock types, they decided to turn Venom into those little rocks, and they just grow on the human and create this giant mountain walking. And for design originality, this is typical Venom colors with those white lines, V something eye. For idea for eyes, I kinda have this idea of Ghostlick, because Ghostlick have these black lines on him, and his eyes moving on those lines. They decided to do the same lines, but the lines will be the function of the eyes. And once again, this designer just take a type elements and turn creature from this element, which again, it's like I think the basic way to do the typing, and not very original. But most again, have no idea how to adapt Venom into rock type. I mean, I don't know, like cover him with rock and still keep the goo part. Kinda boringish, I would say. But this one, man, again, that's the whole story. Man, trying to play with the shape, because again, most of the design will be, again, there's this pile of black rocks with those white lines. So trying to play with the shapes, like one leg will be one massive leg, like a hoof, and other legs will be thin, but double joints. Or like, there will be like two arms, but they are connected to one ending joint. So kinda like a skeleton hole, or how can I describe it? I don't know, like I think it's like the best way to describe it. Also one arm decided to do normal arm, with one arm being like a massive club. And mostly again, because I come up with such a boring design and such a boring idea, I decided to play with the shape and to make it somewhat more interesting. So let's say for this shape, again most they see through this line, so it's like 100, like full degree vision, with massive strengths, but pretty slow. Their movements I would say pretty weakish, because again I would say this symbiote is more like cell dividing into parts, and again those cells divide much better than living bodies. And again, bodies will play a big form of how they will shape them and what will give them. But also again with Swam cannot do nothing much special, or Klyntar can do nothing much special. Again, mostly just toughness and regeneration, but mostly no shape shifting and no, well, some shape shifting, but again it's like very slow shape shifting. Let's say normal Klyntar are much faster. Once again it's just, I don't know, just like Golem who's slowly walking and like the wind by cornering his prey, or like being massive and not able to defeat. Or maybe like when they're in groups. And again, moves is slow and stiff. So yeah, weaknesses, man, I would say it's like will be only one weakness, because most again it's rocks. Okay, maybe like, again, the creatures who can like punch really hard will also be like big weakness for them, because they can just shatter them. And for other stuff, not much can say. I mean, that's kind of the end of the third. Again, the clap arm, the little spike on the arm. Yeah, most I can try to bloody be original as much as I can. So try to turn at least it into living mountain. It will be a mountain which is alive. Plus I can learn the new tricks with this freaking, okay, I cannot see it, but I learned the trick with those how I can color layers, which is again not background layers. But again, I'm not sure how often I will use it. And I would say I will use it quite often. Kinda need to like also learn, well, yeah, need to learn some more tricks. And also I have nothing else to say. I mean, that's kind of the end of the third. I mean, very simple idea. Yeah, again, I would say it's like one of the simplest one. Design, I don't know, I'm just okay with this. I will not say I'm like hating it, but again, it's like a very bloody simple design. But see, I'm kinda using the new tricks I learned, that I will color something and make it translucent on the separate layers. Again, that way I can control my darkness as much as I want to. The background again always something original, some of them will have shadows, I'm not sure does this have shadows or not. Yeah, I just do shadows for this one. And that's my rock type. Yeah, again, most everything I want to say I said, I didn't do any shadows, for background just decided to go with grayish like a dirt. For next one it will be the ground type. For ground type it's a way to get more original, because I didn't turn him into just pile of ground. It's something original. The ground type, its ways get more original, because mostly, okay, you know, there's like a series of guy who tell why each Pokemon is each type. And once again he tell the reason behind Pokemon typing. And once again, the ground type is either they eat ground, they live on ground, or they made of ground. I think it's like basically every type they eat. So yeah, for ground type, it's a creature that lives in the ground. And so I decided to give it a shape of the worm, a little bit grass on it, because again I want to add this more groundiness effect. Unless it's just the worm, which again the spike and that stuff. And for the human possessing it, I would say it's kinda like still keep it its warm shapiness to the creature it possesses, but like the human aesthetic and creature aesthetic will be kept. So again, humans will still have arms, but again it will have a massive tails, and again we'll have claws which each one can dig. Lots of spikes that can be shoot out, and again decided to also mix the colors of grey and, well not brown and green. It's again grass. Want to keep lots of those grassiness effectiveness. And also pink eyes because I want some original colors. Also again I always just want to go with simple Klyntar colors. But I think I need to play with my colors because again types also like very much color based. I cannot like well again I would say red fire class always like red, orange and those fiery colors. I think there was never like a fire type which again was not red. Maybe there was but I don't remember. Like maybe there was bluish. Well Charizard's ultimate form was bluish, but again I don't know, like still I think I always say like orange like this one. But again it's like the type have their own specific colors. Man, actually maybe I need to check it out. Maybe there are some specific colors which I can use or reuse. But also again, I don't know, like I decided to go with those steel black colors and again maybe play with colors when I really want to. Like I would say with ice type I did play with colors slightly, and I would say with ice type I did play a lot with colors. Also here I decided to well make it like very horror-y, a lot horror, like very creepy. And again mostly want to do like amazing design, which again I would say here I'm succeeding. And I would say lots of those designs are bloody amazing. But I would say again like rock type is not in my ideas the best design, but because again it's like the idea of rock type I had. This one decided to give first of all like massive claws. I would say he have like three fingers with claws, big finger and those fingers. But again from this perspective kind of fused together. You can see like I think I did the arm. I did arm like this, and you can see like these two fingers, this finger right here. So kinda gives him two fingers from this angle. Was trying to play, yeah man, trying to make like very sharp fingers. Also try to give him hair of grass, spikes, and bunch of ribcage. Exoskeleton, let's call it like this one. Also again trying to be as original with my design as much as I can. But I think I give him 4 eyes, or maybe I might just misremembering things. And I would say this farm drawing was done in a good chunk of days. So again, there's some things I can possibly forget. Well, okay, it was not that long that I will not remember nothing. It's yeah, I gave him 4 eyes, like that right there. But I thought I would make him smaller right here, but now I make a big one here, right here. Once again, not much can say. I mean, trying to be original, and I think everyone want to say said it. I mean, I would say it would be typical Klyntar weakness. The power idea from Klyntar would be spike shooting and digging. Then I would say some elasticity and some shapeshiftness as well kept. So kinda, yeah, just Klyntar would live in the ground. I mean, I think every Klyntar can do this, just this Klyntar is specialized in this one. I was trying to think maybe give some hair on the back, but no, changing my mind. Yeah, really changing my mind. Yeah, most again here will be just be the work to give it more details, because I create the shape, I create the main idea, and then added some extra ideas of my imagination. Which again, yeah, man, I would say this matches was pretty interesting. I mean, with randomized characters, I kind of was thinking, am I bloody good at creating things? Like, do I have imagination? It's like I think I sometimes question that my designs are basic and boring. Because again, sometimes I have no idea what to do. And again, with some designs it is true. Like some designs are just leave me alone, I did something. Some designs are actually lots of work and lots of originality. But say, with Venom Symbiote, I would say, yeah man, there will be lots of problems with my originality, because lots of Klyntars are just pile of goo until they meet the humans. So kinda, the pile of goo, I like try to make a very simple design, but also like try not to bloody just create them. You know how in Adventure Time there was elementals, try not to turn them into elementals. It's bloody amazing idea to try. Like elemental fin, but with Pokemon elements. Maybe I will try this. Or will like shape the world for element. Nah, I'm not drawing the full world. It's like, I don't know, I will just maybe draw fin as different Pokemon types as well, but like in elemental state. I will like draw, or maybe like take Pokemon and turn them into the pure element. That's an interesting idea. That's like really interesting idea. Maybe we'll try in the future. I didn't think about this one Man, I do like imagine Pokemon type as this if they like for elemental run out. And what kind of world they create. Because again, it's not, I don't know, like, nah, it's create some interesting ideas. Like how everything is made of candy, ice, and how they like manage to create more original designs. So fire type is, yeah, fire type is rocky type as well, because again, it's fire and they on fire. I say something, yeah, I don't know, I'd say something. So on this note, yeah, end of the design, kinda ribcage, nothing much deep of thinking process. Again, interesting, and again, not just, I don't know, Klyntar speaking pile of dirt. And I would say something, yeah, also, man, I think I never finished the thought about me having problem. Well, nah, I think it was enough of the thought that I was scared that I would be not very original with Klyntar design. But no, it's like very original design. Yeah, it's like very original. But again, man, okay, well, for minuses, man, it's original, but they have lots of minuses. I would say I'm still not the best at drawing. I could say there's some specifics. Again, lots of bendy lines, my specialty. Plus this ribcage in the middle is also like very ripped and very not perfect line. I don't know, like, maybe, when will be moment when I bloody, maybe when I did a shitty line I will freaking restarted. When will, okay, like, you know, when I draw something, there was a moment when, I don't know, it's like also dependent. I come to say what I'm type of guy when I did something shitty, I will keep it. But I remember there was cases where there was something shitty and I freaking remove it and draw something new. Like there were cases like this one, it just may not always happening. I think it just depends on my mood. Or maybe how I like this project I'm doing right now. Man, I would say it was enjoyable, like I enjoyed this. But again, I had no idea what I just did remove this whole chest thing and like make something better. Or maybe take it slower. Skin it's like very ripped. I would say maybe it was like more perfect, it will be more perfect. I don't know, let's see. Okay, but still my drink level is still no bias. But you know, better than I did the first time. So for next step, it will be steel type. Yeah, again, it's basically the same combination I did last time. I connect like ground, rock and steel because it's all element of earth, so I like this one. By the freaking avatar rank. So the next one will be interesting. Well, to me, I find it very interesting. It's like amazing design. Okay, so the steel type, it was like in Marvel there already exists something like symbiote of metal. Which again, the Iron Man of the future, or how it's called, like this white Iron Man. I'm not like a big fan of Marvel who bloody remember his name. Plus, I never read the comics with him. Actually, I think I never bloody read Marvel comics at all. Like ever. I mean, I know some scenes, I know some those. Do you know about this character from Marvel who like this character and they tell the story of this character and show a picture from the comics? Maybe one day I want to react to comics of Marvel, you know, maybe like try to get my hands on like the Spider-Man Amazing Fantasy. Actually, do they still sell it or it's like now you just need to buy it for hyper amount of money to bloody read it? I don't know, I hope they still sell. I need to check it. Again, I'm not like a really geek guy. Oh man, I'm a geek guy, but again, I'm not inside of how it was all made. Okay, for this one, an idea of this element, basically the same colors, but again, try to turn it into living creatures instead of just a bunch of nanites. So decide to turn into little this robot spider. Actually, man, believe metal types I always bloody turn them into robots. Yeah, with metal type I always have decided to turn them into robots. I think the only time I did not do robots is when I was a human and I just did it this theme of him having metal inside of his body or like metal outside of his body. I remember the same video where I tell why some Pokemon are metal type. Again, it's one of the robots. Second, they have metal inside of them, or they have some metallic parts. Or they like eat metal, I don't know, I don't remember this video exactly. I watched this video like very long time ago. Will be a nice moment for reaction. So yeah, decided to turn into robot. It's like the second time I did the robot. I don't know, like I would say I would do lots of robots because I think it's like always the winning situation. Then plus with robots you can design, create lots of interesting designs. Although with not a robot you can come up with something more biological and something more unique. So yeah, for this symbiote on human, kinda try to do something like Iron Man, but again not Iron Man completely. So kinda decide this, it's kinda look like this in my life as changed robot. There's this, okay, I don't remember any names of the characters because I watched the show like a very long time ago. Then I was not super fan of the show. Well, not like I hated, but I didn't watch it that much to remember the name of the characters. There was this geek guy who had a crush on Jenny and he built a robot suit for him. It's kinda look like this. Yeah, it's bloody him, minus the chin and more different shapings. But most try to do like there will be this symbiote part, which again, liquidy will be on his neck and his joint and his belly and other place. And there will be something like exoskeleton, which again will be white part. Well, what symbiote will first will connect to his chest and spread all his metal on the body to create the armor. And their legs will connect to the body and that stuff. And most suppose weaknesses, I would say MP, hyper voltage, and he can absorb electricity, but again in large dosages it'll bloody hurt him, so like there's like a limit of how he can absorb. I would say that's basically all the weaknesses. I mean, sound is not a weakness to him, fire is not a weakness to him. So will be just weakness of typical robots. And I would say it's like buy a machine, or not just a robot. It's like buy a symbiote Klyntar. And also with design, I don't know, try to turn very heroic, and again, I did notice this in my head that I turned him into this robot, so kinda decided to go over this, try to do this unique shape. The arm will be in this position, so I feel like, I don't know, it's like one of the arms I usually do. Other arms like this, or I don't know, like, I don't know how else to do arms. I don't know, I'd say I'm still not good at drawing arms, or anything. Yeah, well, there's lots of things I cannot draw. Or I can draw, but not perfectly. I would say, man, it's like interesting idea, looking nice, but drawn with some manners. Again, maybe like the reason why it's not like the best art I can do. Actually, man, I would say it's like interesting, but again, I'm not sure it's like, wow. Well, it's like, I can be proud of this drawing. I can really be proud of this drawing. And also for this one, also I didn't say that I did some stingers on this non-human form. But like, I don't know, just pure decoration. But let's say maybe he can generate electricity in his form. I'd say his power like fully shine when he on human. Like I would say even CBR power will shine when I bloody on human. With some exceptions, there will be some exceptions in this video. Although, not a full, yeah, there will be exceptions. Also I would say he can like fly, generate any weapons, and again for power, it's power something about. I usually don't talk powers. Again, elasticity, well, he can stretch his body. I would not say he can grow. I would say he only can stretch his body, create weapons, fly with his jetpacks, and maybe like some bombs, I don't know, like depending on like, let's say techno power. But again, there will be limits of how much he can do it. Like, I would say it's something like Generator X have. Like, he can master gain some of his nanites to some of his materials. And once again, yeah, not much concern. I mean, the interesting design. And again, I would say in this batch there were lots of interesting designs. Like designs I can be proud of. Again, kinda maybe like putting my thoughts of me not being so great from the back thoughts. But also like doing some gradient tools of his mask, or his neck part. And also, yeah, once again, fusion of Iron Man and fusion of this, I think Tin Can it was called. But Tin Can was his iron shell. And it also was set like a shell. And I remember he like had a cycle. It was like this tin can. But also other stuff. I don't know, for other stuff don't yeah, mostly did this dot because in the moment I have a dot and I can see despite this part. Oh yeah, the top part will be like the chest part for this human form. That's kinda it. And there are a lot of things I can do. I'm getting power explained, the origin explained, my ideas projects is also explained. I didn't do anything special with this one. Well, I did like bigger chest. Yeah, I did like the arm effect of the human arm on this grayish part of this smaller, like his chest part, arm part, and that part. Those for legs decided to turn them into those splitted arms legs. Yeah, not much concern. Decided to go with blue because again they blue and the white and decided to fuse those colors together. For this one I did shadows. I don't know, like shadows are something I do randomly. If I have desire to do shadows, I will do shadows. I think I kinda want to go original, like depends on whether it's static, like the flying type will have no shadows because they're in the air. And the water type will have no shadows because they're in water. But I kinda did not do it with ground type, but I didn't do it with freaking... And then sometimes I did do, so like shadows that's pure just how I want to do it. I want to do shadows now, I will do shadows now. I don't want to do shadows now, I will not do shadows now. Plus I would say sometimes I do shadows because I think background is not so perfect. But the next type, well okay, the next type, also interesting idea, but I would say pretty boringish. Kinda like the ground type, the rock type I mean. And what's the difference with the rock and ground? I think it's just element of earth. But they decide to make them different. Are they expecting a new type soon? I think, okay, like, I don't know, it's probably talk for the future. Not for the future, I don't think I will bring it up. Okay, maybe I will bring it up when I do some reaction on gaming. I will talk about each Pokémon type. Now, let's go to the next one right now. So, with Electric, it also was like very hard for me to come up with the idea of what to do. I kind of thought maybe something like roads, and again, it will have electricity, and I could do this. Let's say I bloody do this always. The very electric I create a roads, which will get hit by electricity, and they will generate it. I don't know, like electric type is like hard for me to come up what to draw. I think it also can be robots. I think it can be something which can absorb electricity, generate it. Again, there's like a flagman. I don't know, most I think you can tell electric type by freaking colors. So for this one, I decided to turn the slime into eel. Oh, no, not like an eel. I think it looks like a tapeworm. Electric tapeworm. Or not even tapeworm. It's just like this creature who looks exactly like this one. And they like, I think they're like slugs who, first of all, they have no gender, so they both have genitalians and they rub it on each other and who like lose in this battle become a mom. I think I just discovered a creature who actually real thing. But I think it's like bloody sounds stupid to you. But again, for this one, okay, I can decide to combine the water and electric type because I always do this because I have some like pure type is like I don't know, like there's no much I can do. By typing it's combining some types, I can like come up with much better ideas instead of just being it like electric dog who full of spikes and that stuff. Or like I don't know, like also like this, yeah. And I don't know, it's hard to describe. I mean, pure type is pure type. It's almost like elemental. And with elementals, it's just made of elements. Like there's, I think it's kind of this electric elemental. It's not just freaking storm. It's also got some rocks in it. It's kind of like also did this combination of types. So kind of slightly water type, mostly electric type. Like yeah, first of all type is electric, extendable type, maybe water type. I thought maybe okay, I would say I don't know. Like I come up with the idea of freaking turn into eel. I really want to double typing, but again, I have no idea how to combine it. For the design, yeah, basically like exactly the same as water type. With those eyes of symbiote being this translucent so humans' eyes can see, so I would say the symbiote, well I would say the symbiote can see with the body, or like know what's going around it. Mostly the humans have a full control of the symbiote. Little spikes, because again electric and there must be spikes, I would say I like doing spikes for electric type. Because those spikes look like electricity in cartoonies and have this bendy effect. Also decided to do this little whiskers because again, I don't know, I see them like jellyfish whiskers. And also, man, I tell you this guy is like very child. Like yeah, this one is like, yeah, basically the same what happened with rock type. I have zero idea what to do. I try to bloody come up with something. Now with rock type, I would say I have more ideas with rock type than I have with electric type. Man, again, rock type is ideas, but again, maybe not so much on details. This one have details, but this idea, I don't know, like it was just pure my desperation of me want to do something. And again, I just did basically the same thing I did before, just adding more type to it. I mean, it's kind of like a water type, but let's say maybe this one cannot go much in water, because I think when it goes to water, it can just electric itself. So for weaknesses minus the electricity, no, I would say basically the same weakness. Minus, well yeah, basically the same weakness of Klyntar and powers. And I would say it does not have electricity, it cannot stretch, I can say elasticity. It's a weird word for me. It can stretch because again it's like a very weird suit, and again it's not protecting human very much. So most again it's just suit which go on human and it just human natural strength. It's just giving humans ability to generate electricity, survive it, and again shoot it. So kind of that's the only power that this suit has. So like I would say this suit is pretty weakish. So like it's, and again it's like water type. I would say water type is a suit. Well no, water type can stretch more, but again it's more weakest symbiote suit. This suit, it does not give human any benefits. It's just suit which can go on top of you, like give you electric power and give you electric immunity. But most again, you just it's all your natural strength. So if you are like pet who couldn't run, you could not run. It will not give you any energy boost or that stuff. You just become this. Like yeah, maybe like Whiskers can stretch. I cannot change. Well yeah, maybe like his Whiskers on his face and his Whiskers on his head maybe can stretch and like go through holes or through this wiring like. Search circle it. So kind of maybe this will be hits on the statue powers. So again, on the statue of the natural body, go to those little whiskers. Also kind of make me think, why didn't I give the whiskers to the goo form? Well, not now goo, it's like tape form. I don't know. But this is pretty good. I have no idea why I did not do it. Again, here doing the same color and making it translucent. And it's a nice trick. I mean, it saved me time. Well, not much time. It must save me, I don't know, usually when there's translucent, I just generate on the setting translucity and I have to use the button until I can find something I like. This way I can just pick a color and drag it down to make more translucent. I would say it's much more comfier. That's like the new trick I need to learn for freaking using this block that I will not use right now. That's a function I found out in this creator. which again I find very useful. For this one, much can say, so... Oh, too young. And again, pretty boring. So the spike will be made of this material, which again, the symbiote used for swimming. And I know it's Klyntar, but I want to call it symbiote for steam, T. Again, this electricity, because again, I believe you need to show that electric type. I'm like, how can you show that it's an electric type? And you can make a whole game of freaking people guessing what type it is. I mean, there's some types you can also easily guess, there's some type you can guess maybe. And there's some type you can guess, but again, there's obviously secondary type, which again, you will not be able to guess. Okay, I would say electric, man, I think lots of people can tell when which is electric type, because it will be electric creature, or have a colors, or be made of metal. And with dark type, I would say maybe it's most hard to tell. With freaking fairy type, it will be hard to tell. Because mostly it's like only type which again secondary or by the meaning. Again, that's kind of the end of this one. Mostly I think I said everything I want to say it, and it's some bonuses, and mostly that's it. There's not much I can say. But did I call the ice? I think I did not call the ice. Well, it's look fine-ish, I would say. On this note, for next thumbnail, man. Or not thumbnail, the next drawing will be the ice type. The ice type is pretty interesting, but also it's like double typing. Like I did the double typing again. Also because I didn't want to just draw a bunch of ice. And there's like two ideas, and let's get to the drawing, I will tell you about it. Welcome from back from the break. So the next step will be ice type. Original idea was to make a fairy venom. Massive fusion of this. What's the creature's Star Wars spot, which again this icy fairy creature. But then saying, yeah, it's boring, it will just be venom but hairy. I decided how to make an ice type. And decided to go with ice, but again I don't want to like do these elemental things. So I come up with an amazing idea to make it double type. The fire and ice. The typing which again have a meaning, and typing which again very rare. I mean I know only one Pokemon who is fire and ice. And like it's a form. And so mostly, yeah, fire and ice. It will be, Venom itself will be just this pile of magma or something generate heat. And on the surface level there will be this ice. So in normal form it will be this stone, with this magma inside and those ice outside. And on the human form it will be blobby with ice on the body. So once again, I think it's like bloody fire pipe, but it also have this secret ice meaning. So mostly, okay, now the second theory I have, no, not the theory, the third ring I have, it's something like a liquid matter you can get on the body and turn into ice. I think it will be just the same as freaking rock type, just in the normal form it will be a liquid instead of rocky. I don't know, for ice I decided to go with a really original shape. Also will do those ice pieces on the face, most for the mask effect and also for the something like a hair. Also there will be little pieces on the chest, okay, they will be on the shoulder and go to the back. And the rest will be gooey with Ambi, not so gooey. Well, the eye, man, again, it's magma ice. The eyes will be face, shoulders, back, backs with arms, but not the fingers. Pelvis, my favorite part, and legs. But again, I didn't want to do what I did with metal type, with steel type, where it's like plates and that stuff and exoskeleton with those slender parts. So also try to be very original. Again, just did the solid pieces on the face, shoulder and arms, but not so solid pieces on the pelvis and legs. There will be something, well yeah, it will be just pieces and rock on it. Maybe I could do something more, maybe I could put those slightly pieces of ice on everybody place, and instead of just this singular place. So originally I kinda want to do those plating, but again, change my mind to, yeah, because I don't want to do this effect of, well, yeah, I would call it the heatless effect, like it's the same thing what heatless have. But again, I was not thinking about heatless when I was designing, I just like doing these things. And I like doing those lines on the body. It's a thing I really like to do. And also, and there's lights up a couple of things I like to do. Remember them all will be complicated. Also again, I did this ripping effect, did this cool effect for the arms, and again fingers. Okay, kinda want to do 3 fingers, but then decided to go with 2. But again, we'll say for powers it will be first of all. So for powers it will be just really strong heat generation, again the stretchiness, and again the fact that we have a solid piece of ice on his body, it's also extra weapons. Like he can stretch his arms and hit you in the face to stretch your legs. Something like a goo have in the game. The Vilgax destruction, Vilgax attack, or how it's called. I don't exactly remember the name. Man, there was like a round of Benton games. Okay, with some I remember, most again, the Ultimate and Alien Force. It's the hard way I can tell difference between those games. Not really, I mean I only know there was Vilgax attacks and like the Ultimate one. But also apparently like the hybrid something, the first game about Alien Force, which I didn't know existed. I didn't know it existed, I just didn't know it was a separate game. Because again I have, because my experience with Ben 10 in games only, in watching gameplay footage with no commentary and not understanding what the hell is going on because still my English was not so great. So for the, okay, I would say for the second arm I did play more Drugan Effect than the other arms. Oh, like, I don't know, it's playing my goopiness, I'm playing my freaking gooiness. But also again, there's not much I can say, I mean for this one it's kinda the, well I mean the weakness maybe will be strong cold. Actually not. No, I changed my thought. Maybe water. Like the fire and ice will not harm you, but the water will, because the water will freeze from your hotness, or from your coldness, and boil from your hotness. And again, I kinda want to, and again it's like fire type, but again it's kind of covered in ice, so kinda the main typing will be fire, while the secondary typing will be freaking ice. Because again, it's covered in ice. I have the idea. But typing I decided to live in the cold areas. How do you adapt to cold areas? Have fuel. I didn't like the idea of fuel. I decided you generate your own heat. Or you like, yeah, you generate your own heat. I think for ice elemental you kinda supposed to control ice. Again, it's kind of will turn him into elemental, and again I want to be original. And I did something original, but the minus will be, does it make sense? Originally, yeah, it doesn't, I don't know, it's like, with my drawings I want to have actual sense, like if you were this type, what would happen to you. But also, lots of times there are not so many original ideas, because again I have idea of turning him into ice elemental. And again, by Pokemon logic you will just be simple ice elemental. But also there's something I want to create an original design. And my desire to create this original design kind of drove me to create an original design, which again become freaking fire type instead of ice type. But again, yeah, it's kind of this. Like there's no way to escape it. Again, I bloody like this design. It's interesting design and I like it. But it's making zero sense for Pokemon logic. It's like, I don't know, it's like a thought I have constant and a thought I usually call out. No, not really call out. I just like to fix things like they're supposed to be, like, you know, like lots of artists, like, I don't know, like, it's a really thought complicated thought, which again, I kind of have delivered, like, yeah, it's also a nice way to, when I do reaction, like, when I do reaction, I also think about the original law of the series, and, okay, let's say parody videos. I think about parody videos, like, what happened in the real story, and what's the content of the real story, and what is lots of creators like to make jokes about. Like, I like to do this thing. I think about those things. And kinda also get myself stuck in this loop of art is art, but again, universe is universe. And again, I like to think from actual Pokemon perspective. But also I want to create original design. I don't want my design to be boring, you just saw it and forget it. I want my design to be remembered, at least at some meta. And again, I would say it's like amazing design. I really like this design. Again, let's say bendy lines. Again, I create amazing designs, but I'm still like I don't know, I would say novice. Maybe I would say I'm not a novice, maybe I'm some say I'm total crap. Maybe this one I can agree slightly. No, again, it's way better than I did before. Like I remember my first drawing, I remember my first drawing was me drawing and trying to learn how to draw by freaking cameling the characters from different shows. That's how I learned to draw. Yeah, that's how I learned some new tricks. And that was decent. Again, still have problems with doing the proportion on that stuff. But then I get much better. The also nice will be reference of me freaking drawing Alistair. The first time I draw Alistair with pencil, the second I draw with freaking drawing software, and the second time I actually learned how to use this drawing software. And again, the bunch of works I did myself and a bunch of works which I'm working on right now. But let's say, yeah, man, I like it. Okay, consider fact also I will do the drawing memory challenge by my Smash characters. And again, those are usually very simple and not so great. Because again, I have very bad memory. You know, doing something nice would be nice stuff for my no hiatus happening and the fact I stop drawing and return to me drawing. That would be a nice return to it. By freaking making such amazing art. I'd say it's amazing. If it's not amazing, bloody hell. You really don't like the way I draw it. The next one will be again very unique one. Because again I want to be very unique-ish. It will be poison type for which one I create very original idea. The poison type. For the poison type I have two ideas. The first idea will be a creature who keep you human but again take control of you, make you stronger. I decided to save it for other symbiotes. So I decided to go with something completely original. Instead of symbiote, we create a parasite. and decide to create this little blob of sucking blood. And again, very simple design, but idea will be interesting. First, we draw a normal human instead of human being covered in a suit. And for this symbiote, it becomes a parasite who will stick to your back and suck all your juices out. And you will not get any benefits from it. You just slowly will die. Poisoned, dying, and that stuff. So I draw like a very sick human with freaking yellow eyes. Like I originally want to draw him bloody eyes, because I like drawing bloody eyes. But again, a very not healthy like for me to do. But I like some gruesomeness. Yeah, I like it sometimes. In Perfect Worm it was decent. But again, it was not like going me violent or that stuff. But I like Chainsaw Man, so that's like gruesomeness I like. And I also draw the freaking Shrimp and Pork Man. And I need to draw a little bit more. I like the idea of Shrimp and Pork Man. It doesn't make sense, but I like it. But on this note, I draw a human who will pale, yellow eyes, and just a normal human who will go on his back and try to reach the parasite. So here me actually trying to play with my perspective. But again, would say, I can't need to draw humans who will reach to his back, but I never bloody draw this. And again, I never draw this, so I have to bloody figure out somehow for birth and I'm have a decent meal. Frying chicken with some hot chocolate. But again, will be this effect with the arm bending and again go back. And again, I didn't want to cover the head, so kind of like this. And again, one arm will be like this. And again, well, yeah, something like this. But again, I'm sure I did it perfectly, because again, it's like the first time I actually draw it. Maybe need one of these lines of showed that he kind of bending in a not natural way. Well, natural, but again, bending like he's at the limit, like he can, like his body physically cannot go. Most for this symbiote, man, again, would say symbiote who stuck to human doesn't give any benefits and just sucking your life, and again, filling with blood and all your life energy, so kind of mythical they're getting. And also, I would say weaknesses, well, maybe fire sound and that stuff, so weaknesses will be average. And in fact, I would say the symbiote, man, I think the symbiote only power will be the fact that he sucking blood, he get bigger, and he kind of can side shift. It depends on an animal, he will get of the size of this animal. And the fact that he can stretch, so that's kind of how he moves. He stretch his blood sucking tendrils and then can stretch, grab, and do that stuff. Plus, I would say he like bloody strong, like I would say to get rid of his grip it will be bloody impossible. I mostly again doing this effect of freaking arm circle on the body, which again I did the same effect with the robot one, and maybe like the ground one. Where I will draw the line, we'll got it on the other side of the body and cut somewhat. Also do the same thing with arcades, because the body look nice. Man, the fact that the tendrils were touching the body, like it goes out of the body, we all to hit this body, I can't remove something. Yeah, you just look at the arm. You see it right there. If you see it right there, again, I could cut this video and again it will line up different when I'm talking about. So mostly again, man, this symbiote is very simple, but again, it's like the only symbiote which again not symbiote. Like his type changing, like changes exactly what he's supposed to be. Which again, I kind of like this idea. And plus, I would say I bloody don't play with my symbiote and what they can possess. Mostly because I want my symbiote to possess anything without limitation. Because I need to knowledge, but again I didn't want to ignore, so I want the symbiote to possess everything. But I would say, maybe depends on some type changes, the symbiote can possess other things. Or like only one things. But again, the idea of which one, I don't know, I like seeing how the things will look with other things. Like I like Star with first of evil wand, and how you can change its appearance depends on who uses this wand. Or how can an trick change your appearance depends on what type of person you are, what type of clothes you're wearing, and in what state you are. Like I like this art which show different people wear omnitrix and their appearance changed. And I like to see things from perspective of other persons. Nah, like, you know, again, shiftiness, bogus from Harry Potter, like show the fear of the person, show it in unique ways. I like to see similar things happen to the same person, to the different person. And because it's a different person, the different thing will happen. I think it's kind of like a nice way to explain it. But also I kind of see now like maybe electric type can change him into symbiote who can possess only electronic devices. Although let's say it, okay, let's face it, humans can also have electricity in the body, and humans are not an electronic device. Actually, I think they can have an electronic device. I mean, we have electricity now, so just a device which is naturally occurred, and we just different materials. It's amazing thing to think. I mean, people constantly compare human brains to computers, and again, lots of inventions are based on freaking life nature. And again, yeah, man, again, okay, maybe I'll say electronic symbiote can like search technology and control it. And maybe even do the same thing with humans. Maybe he can possess technology. I don't know, like I already turned him into someone who can possess humans. You know, technical control will be also not so bad. But also, I don't know, like, yeah, we'll see. But on this note, not much can say, so this was the last one. Yeah, so we finished. And what can I say? Nothing much actually, it was nice. Yeah, let's see. We'll consider the fact I did draw for a lot of days while I was still drawing our drawings thumbnails. Some thumbnails were good quality, some thumbnails were bad quality. Consider the fact I did draw for a while. It's actually a nice return for me, like I did a lot of interesting fanarts. Well, not, yeah, fanarts, it's Marvel and Pokémon, it's totally fanarts to those series. I did some interesting work. I mean, let's say with some of them were weakish, some of them were nice, but I would say in general, it was nice canvas for me. I kind of was scared that I get rusty slightly. And I probably did get rusty. Well, I didn't get rusty with my editing. I remember one of my thumbnails were, I like make my space really small and I didn't like it. But I decided to keep it. Again, I did what really and I uploaded it sometimes. Again, I bloody need to fix everything in every place, and if I was cutting, my laziness went slightly. No, but okay, I still have to montage and I still will be moving some montage problems. But most for this one, it's doing pretty nice-ish. Yeah, it's like very nice-ish. But on this note, I don't know, just have a nice day. Nah, first we can go to my two channels for my gameplays, my reaction, and my social media where you can see those drawings as well. Without my face, you can even freaking repost them, but with credits. Also my Patreon, where you can watch early access to my stuff. And yeah, also your name code for my gaming reaction channel. For this channel I can do lots of shoutouts because, I don't know, uploads on this channel will be slower than other two channels. Because on this one, they have like a daily, a certain amount of days in upload. I don't know, maybe there will be some changes, dependable. I still will get some maybe changes, it depends on how things in my life will turn out. For this channel, until the video is ready, there will be no shoutout. Well, no video. But I can shout out on the channel which again more active is much because again on those channels the video came out like days ago. So on this one it's already 2 weeks. So yeah, kind of see it like this way. Why even trying to explain it? I just tell on this channel to do shoutouts. But the next note, just have a nice day. For all that's been, bye bye.